Welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work. In the hustle of profit, product, and productivity, it's easy to neglect the how, our ethics, our conduct, and our internal state of being. But what if the secret to sustainable success wasn't found in the latest management trend, but in wisdom that's existed for thousands of years? The host of this podcast, Kimberly Killer, is here to explore the ancient concepts of yamas and niyamas as a powerful framework for modern leadership. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to help you apply proven lessons from the yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today. I'm your host and guide, Kimberly Kaler, and it's my great pleasure to share my insight on how to meld mindfulness into our work world, however you define work, as a teacher, a corporate executive, or community volunteer. Today's topic is Svadhyaya, the unexamined leader is not worth following. In the mythology of leadership, the hero is often depicted as an outward-facing figure, commanding armies, steering the ship through stormy seas, or making pronouncements from on high. We celebrate leaders for their actions, their decisions, and their impact on the world. But what about the inner world where these actions and decisions are forged? What about the quiet internal work that cultivates the wisdom to lead well? This is the territory of Svadhyaya, the fourth niyama, which translates as self-study or self-reflection. It is the practice of turning the gaze inward or studying the text of our own lives, thoughts, and behaviors. With the same rigor we might apply to a balance sheet or a market analysis. Svadhyaya proposes a radical idea in the context of our action-oriented business culture. The most important subject a leader can master is really themselves. For leaders, Svadhyaya is not an act of nasal gazing or self-indulgence. It is a fundamental discipline for ethical and effective leadership. It is the commitment to continuous learning, the courage to seek feedback, and the humility to acknowledge that our own internal landscape, our biases, values, fears, and blind spots, profoundly shapes the reality of our organizations. The unexamined leader is a dangerous leader, prone to repeating mistakes and leading from a place of uninspected ego. The mirror of introspection. Leadership is a position of immense leverage. A leader's mood can set the tone for an entire department. A leader's blind spot can become an organization's fatal flaw. A leader's unexamined bias can perpetuate systematic inequity. Given this immense responsibility, the failure to engage in self-study is a form of professional negligence. Svadhyaya asks us to hold up a mirror to our own leadership. It is the process of asking the hard questions. For example, why did I react so defensively in that meeting? What are the core values that truly drive my decisions versus the ones I just talk about? Is there a pattern to the feedback I keep receiving but ignoring? What are my triggers and how do they impact my team? Without this reflective practice, we operate on autopilot. We become prisoners of our own habits and conditioning. We might be leading, but we don't truly know who is leading. We are a collection of reactions rather than a conscious, intentional guide. This lack of self-awareness is the root of so much dysfunction in organizations. It's the brilliant but abrasive executive who can't understand why their team is terrified of them, or the well-intentioned manager who accidentally stifles creativity by needing to control every detail. The growth mindset in action. Svadhyaya is the engine of a true growth mindset. Coined by psychologist Carol Dweck, a growth mindset is the belief that our abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. It is the opposite of a fixed mindset, which assumes our intelligence and talents are static. A leader who practices such self-study embodies this principle. They see feedback not as a judgment on their fixed character, but as a valuable data point for their ongoing development. They view their mistakes not as shameful failures, but as rich texts for study. This approach has a profound effect on organizational culture. When a leader openly engages in self-study, admitting they were wrong, sharing that they learned from a failure, or actively seeking coaching, They make it safe for everyone else to do the same. They model the humility and curiosity required for genuine learning. This transforms the organization from a place where people hide their weaknesses to a place where they're encouraged to grow. It shifts the culture from one of performance, providing how good you are and proving that, to one of learning, becoming better than you were. The four-way test, a framework for such self-study. While Svadhyaya is an internal practice, it can be guided by external frameworks. One of the most powerful and practical tools for self-reflection is in a business context is the four-way test adopted by Rotary International in 1943. Before we speak or act, it challenges us to ask four simple but profound questions. Number one, is it the truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? These questions are Svadhyaya in action. They force us to pause our reactive impulses and study our intentions against a clear ethical standard. Truthfulness connects back to satya, demanding intellectual honesty. Fairness focuses us to consider the impact on all stakeholders, not just ourselves or our preferred group. Goodwill reminds us that relationships are a form of capital and that our actions can either build or erode them. Beneficial to all is the ultimate test of systems thinking, challenging us to look beyond zero-sum outcomes to find win-win solutions. Using a framework like this gives us structure to our self-study, moving it from a vague intention to a disciplined practice. So what are some actionable tips for practicing such self-study? Integrating self-study into the demanding life of a leader requires carving out intentional space for reflection. It's a discipline, like physical exercise or strategic planning. Number one, schedule reflection time. You schedule meetings with your team. Why not schedule a meeting with yourself? Block 30 minutes on your calendar at the end of each week. Use this time to review your week with self-study and self-awareness questions. For example, where was I at my best this week and why? Where did I struggle or react poorly? What can I learn from that? What is the most important thing for me to focus on in this next week? Protect this time as fiercely as you would a meeting with your most important client. Number two, start a leadership journal. Writing is a powerful tool for clarifying thought. Keep a journal dedicated to your leadership journey. Use it to untangle complex problems, process difficult emotions after a tough day, or reflect on the books you're reading. The act of putting thoughts on paper forces a level of honesty and clarity that is difficult to achieve in the chaos of your own mind. Number three, create a personal board of directors. No one can see their blind spots perfectly. Self-study is not a solo activity. Actively seek feedback from a trusted circle of mentors, peers, and even team members. Ask them specific questions. In our last project meeting, how did my communication land with you? What could I have done better? Make it safe for them to tell you the truth. This 360-degree view is an invaluable part of self-study. Number four, become a voracious learner. Self-study means studying the self, of course, but we learn about ourselves by studying the world. Read widely, not just business books, but history, philosophy, fiction, poetry. Expose yourself to ideas that challenge your worldview. The more you learn about the world, the more frameworks you have for understanding yourself and your place within it. Number five, practice mindfulness meditation. Meditation is the gymnasium and the place where we can play in self-study. It's a formal practice of observing your own mind without judgment. Through meditation, you begin to see patterns of your thoughts, the rise and fall of your emotions, and the impulses that drive your actions. This direct observation of your inner world is the most direct path to self-knowledge. The leader who knows themselves. The ultimate outcome of Svadhyaya is not a perfect leader, but an aware one. An aware leader is more compassionate, more resilient, and more effective. They lead with humility because they're intimately familiar with their own imperfections. They inspire trust because they are on their own journey of growth, and they invite others to join them. In the end, self-study teaches us that we cannot learn and lead anyone else further than we have led ourselves. The inner work is the outer work. By committing to the quiet, courageous practice of self-study, we cultivate the wisdom not just to run a successful organization, but to lead a meaningful life.
Thank you so much for listening to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to meld mindfulness into the work we do. We invite you to subscribe as well as visit wisdomfortheworkwedo.com for additional resources. Until next time, we invite you to consider how you can apply the wisdom yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today, with integrity, clarity, and compassion.